Hello everybody, it's Sigrid here. Alright, you ready for another video? I got my coffee, I hope you guys do too. Managed to clean my kitchen a tiny bit so you guys aren't forced to look at my dirty dishes. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about anger. There is a couple different kinds of anger, and I wanted to explore them in the context of parenting. So, first of all, I think I want to talk a little bit about the taboo of anger, and how women in general are taught that being angry is unfeminine, over the top, you're crazy. So I want it to be said that we're not talking here about voicing your boundaries. Well, we are going to talk about that, but we're not talking about suppressing your truth or your no. Okay? We're actually talking about the healthy version of anger. What does healthy anger look like? In the context of parenting, and I say parenting, it could be any context, but parenting is such a sublime opportunity to really look at how we are unconscious, how we show up unconsciously. Our kids trigger us to no end, and they mirror all the unprocessed emotions and traumas and needs, unmet needs. So they're really our greatest little gurus. So I'm going to speak from my own experience. Hold on, I need some coffee. And as that's the only basis I can speak from, I can say that my clients have gone through much of the same thing, just packed in different ways. When I have felt that anger has been misused, I have misused anger, it's always because it's like a last resort. All right? It's like a last ditch effort to control either the situation or my children. So what does that imply? When I use anger to dominate any situation, including that of my children, it is because I have an expectation of them, of the moment. I have an addiction to harmony, to peace, and instead of being the peace that I wish to experience, I want my kids to first be that so that I can relax. And that is what the ego really does. That's a mechanism of the ego. It expects your external circumstances or something on the outside to give you what you need instead of you being what you need. Okay? So when I lose it, it's always about me not being conscious, not having stopped. When I feel it's in a spiritual journey, responsibility is key. And we go through waves of being completely immersed and identified with the dark night, and unable to really take responsibility. And we have to experience it. We have to live out whatever is being played out until we're sort of on our knees, about it. And one of the things that I've really I got to a point where I was on my knees was the chaos in my home. And just so sort of overtaken by the chaos, overwhelmed, really, when my kids would argue and fight and these huge, massive emotions would happen. I would go into victim mode, powerlessness, so completely overrun by the energy of the moment that I lost myself. I would abandon myself being the space of where life happens, where I happen, where the moment unfolds. And so I would lose myself completely identify with the identity of powerlessness, of victimhood. And when it got to a point where, in a way, I couldn't even withstand that, I would fly into the tyrant, right? So yelling and demanding and punishing and all that. And it doesn't feel good. It leaves you feeling really, really not just guilty and hating yourself for having left yourself, because that's the ultimate self-loathing feeling, for me anyway. It was. And also the impact of that on your children. You see, oh my God, I left love, I left compassion, I left unconditional acceptance, I left boundaries, I left my integrity, I left my authenticity, my truth. I left all that. And instead, I reverted back to this old habit of control and domination, which does not work. I don't know if you're experiencing this in your life, but it doesn't work. It does not work anymore. Dominating our children only perpetuates the identity of wrongness, of badness, of fragmentation of identity. We separate from self-compassion, from self-love, from self-acceptance. We make part of our humanity wrong and bad. And that is just not something I'm willing to perpetuate in my family anymore. There's no way. There's no way. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but there is no way I am going to there's no way I'm passing that on to another generation. There's just no way. So it ends with me. It ends here. And so what does it look like when you're immersed in chaos and consternation? And we're talking about, from a sensitive, probably most of you watching are sensitive beings where you feel things profoundly. So what does it look like on the other side, right? What does it feel like when chaos comes up and you're still a mom? You have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You gotta stand in it. What does that look like? First of all, I think it's about really looking at expectations. What do we expect the moment to be for us? What do we expect our children to be for us? What is that? What is that attachment? So when we no longer have expectations of the moment to be anything for us, for any reason, we've processed that, we understand that, we have metabolized those needs so that we are stable in who we truly are. When we're able to do that, we can kind of enter into each moment without fear. Because I could feel myself dreading when they would come home, dreading the chaos, dreading the moments like before dinner or, in the morning getting out the door. And it like makes me, I remember feeling like contracted and pulled back so that I literally energetically disappear from the moment. Or not necessarily disappear, but I show up in a way that is fearful, so that that fear sort of perpetuates, victimhood perpetuates, tyranny perpetuates in them. They would show up as the victim and the tyrant when I would do that. Standing in an acceptance of what is, even if that is chaos, because we're not talking about rectifying anything right now. We're not talking about solving anything or fixing anything, guys. This is so important. This is so important. We're not jumping over there, because any kind of solution or rectifying will evolve on its own from the space of being, from the space of of acceptance. So what happens? I want us to look at what your life would be if you looked at it as an experiment. What would happen if, right? What would happen if just for one potentially chaotic moment in your day, you just put down all of your defenses, all of your weapons, all of your strategies to keep you safe and protected, all of your strategies to control and manipulate and dominate and get your way. And you just simply opened up to the moment and said, this is what is happening. It is happening. I mean, it's like, I think Jeff Foster talks about, what is happening has already been accepted by God. It's already been accepted by the moment. It is for you in some way, shape, or form. It is here to serve you in some deeper way. And I have found that chaos was a way for me. It was so sublime and perfect for me to really be able to learn to stand in that stable place of acceptance. Now, let me be clear here. Well, I was talking about anger, but this is beautiful, okay? Anger becomes sort of this non-issue, and I'll tell you when it becomes relevant, okay? We're not talking about letting kids, we're not talking about letting kids do whatever they want, or not setting guidelines or boundaries, or even using anger, being angry, saying a clear no. We're not talking about that. We're talking about not manipulating the situation because it's uncomfortable for you. The very first key to parenting in this new paradigm, in this renaissance of human connection, is that you accept the moment as it is, not trying to change it, run from it, fix it, all that. We accept, we open up, we allow the moment to be just as it is. And then, if you can, or when you can, because I believe you can, because I believe it's innate in all of us, from that space, that sort of, you're sort of relaxed, even in the midst of chaos, right? You're sort of leaning back into this safe space of you. You are safe. You believe in you. You believe in the moment. This is key. You believe in you. You believe in, and you meaning life. Life is here to take care of life and everything in it. So you lean back, you accept the moment, and then you watch. Watch what instinctively, intuitively needs to be said, needs to be done, where, in a way, life guides you. This is really what it means to see through the eyes of God, to act with the body of God, to speak with the mouth of God, the mind of God. You know, this is allowing yourself to be a channel for truth and wisdom and compassion and acceptance. None of those things can happen from the mind. They really can't. That's why we struggle, because that is our only resource, and it's not enough. It is not enough. Children do not want to be parented from the mind. They want to be parented from a stable space of being, where the right action, the right words take place from that space. So chew on that a bit. It's super beautiful and inspiring, and it's really, really empowering both for you and for your children to be awake to this journey and to begin honoring yourself and your children in the way that, in a way, nature intended. I don't know. It feels so natural. All right. Take care, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and do share this video with people, moms that you think would resonate. Sisters, mothers, husbands, whatever. Love you guys.